All right, I get it. I'm not trying to make another video about internet phone addiction, but I think I'm onto something. Yeah, I think I'm onto something, and I want to share it with you guys. So just bear with me. And also, this video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more on them later. I don't know about you guys, but there's been this trend that I've noticed in my life in recent years, and it's been an uptick in the volume of time that I spend on the internet, whether that's on my phone or on my computer, doesn't really matter. Doesn't also help that weekly I get a little alert, a notification on my phone, sharing with me my screen time analytics. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh goodness, that's bad. Yeah, I've been having this thought as of late of, am I just spending way too much time on the internet? Is that good for me? Is it bad for me? And is there a way to combat that? I'm actually not. I think that'd be disgusting.
Still going.
I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this, but whether I'm at home with my family or just doing different housework tasks, I just find myself always on my phone and always checking it. And it's not the phone itself that's necessarily the problem, but it's what the phone is giving me access to. And the same can be said for my computer as well. That's really what I'm trying to address in this video. Just my internet addiction. I don't want to call it an addiction, but just my internet usage, and really how to curb that a little bit and slow down just how much time I'm spending on the internet. Yeah. So essentially, after admitting that I spend way too much time on the internet, the next step that I took was, all right, how do I address this? How do I resolve this issue of just spending way too much time on the internet? And without doing any research or looking up different methodologies, I just chose to kind of go cold turkey. And the way that I did that was I set these parameters for myself, such as I'm not allowed to use my phone after 9 p.m. every evening, or when I wake up in the morning for at least 30 minutes, setting myself a timer that I can't touch my phone or open up my computer. And it worked for a while, a very short while. But what I found was, as a result of these kind of like still undefined parameters and rules for myself that I set, that it really led me to two places every single time. One was, I was always just like eagerly looking towards that amount of time that I was able to access the internet. So when I told myself, okay, I can't use the internet for 30 minutes in the morning, I would just be kind of like waiting for those 30 minutes to expire so that I can just hop on my phone. And it just created this craving, almost this like withdrawal from the internet that then led to me just wanting to use it more. The other like result that I kind of faced was when I was in those blocks of time that I was allowed to use the internet, like right before 9 p.m. every evening, I would just find myself binging that time and maximizing it as much as possible before I had to hop off the internet. Going cold turkey didn't really work. I would set these undefined parameters or rules for myself that sometimes I would stick to, sometimes I wouldn't. And when I was not allowed to be on my phone at a certain time or whatever, I just found myself really bored during those stretches of time and almost unable to fill that time with doing something else. Yeah, I was just really bored with myself. Yeah. After some time realizing that this wasn't working, that this idea of just setting these unrealistic, undefined rules for myself wasn't the solution, I knew that I had to find a solution, and it would require being more proactive than my initial approach. Thus began the process of trying to fill that time, that boredom of when I wasn't using the internet. There's a lot of hobbies that I actually do have outside of photography.
And I was just trying to fill my time with those various hobbies. But I found that nothing was necessarily preventing me from then just hopping on my phone and turning on my computer and then accessing the internet. At the beginning of the video, I shared that I thought I was onto something, and really what I was alluding to was the thing that has really helped me kind of stay off the internet a little more. And after trying a lot of different things and a lot of different approaches, surprisingly, the thing that worked for me and has worked for me so far is writing. And of all the things that I tried, it's just the thing that stuck. You know, it's not writing itself necessarily that keeps me off the internet, but it's more of the things that I used to do on my phone or on my computer and just migrating those tasks to a more analog approach, pen to paper and writing. So things like daily tasks or shot lists or journaling or writing down ideas, things that I used to always do on various apps on my devices, I just began to move them to a more analog approach. The way that I've done this is I have a few different journals or notebooks that I use for different purposes. The one like right here, this one right here, this green one, I actually use this one probably the most, but this one is used for really writing down all of my ideas, whether that's for YouTube or for spec work I want to work on or just shoots in general. It's also the place where I write down scripts for videos, and sometimes I will storyboard and just mapping out even timelines for what my editing is gonna look like once I finish filming a video. But yeah, just for all of those general work-related tasks and things, this is the notebook that I use for those things. And then I have another notebook for more personal purposes and usage. And this is really for journaling and just writing down my personal thoughts. And I have found that over the years, it's been really helpful for me to begin really writing things down just so that I don't forget things that I'm kind of going through or like revelations that I've kind of experienced. And so yeah, this is a place where I'll just write down all of those personal thoughts. And then this little guy, this little cute guy, this is actually just for task management. This is something that I typically keep on my desk at the studio, and it's where I will write down daily goals, things that I need to get done. And so it's really like a task management notebook where I will make these little boxes next to all the tasks. And then as I work through them, I'll check them off. And so I do this every day. I have a list of things I need to get done, and then this is the notebook that I use to write down those things. Like I said earlier, it's not writing necessarily that's the thing that's keeping me from using the internet more and really just curbing my internet consumption. But it's really just been the approach of making my life a little more analog. And because of that, I'm just finding that I'm not on my devices nearly as much, which then inevitably always lead me to a place of just hopping on social media for a quick second. And I tell myself it's a quick second, but then that turns into 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. And so, yeah, this has just been the thing that's really worked for me, this analog approach. Before introducing writing back into my lifestyle, it had been years and years and years since I was regularly writing. And if you are like me, if you are also not regularly writing, but you want to, and you're rusty, then you can actually learn on Skillshare, who are kindly sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an incredible platform where you can learn a variety of skills or just things that you're interested in, such as cooking, video editing, photography, graphic design, social media, marketing tactics. One of the really cool things about Skillshare is that it's made up of a community of creative and curious people. And there are classes seemingly on every single topic imaginable. As I've reintroduced writing back into my lifestyle, I started looking up classes that I could take to really just improve my writing abilities. And one of the classes I'm taking right now is on bullet journaling, which has been really fun just to learn a new technique to journaling and writing, and really folding that into my habit of writing right now. And I plan on taking a lot more classes on just improving on this skill set. Especially for creatives and artists, Skillshare can be a wonderful place and a resource for just learning new skills and sharpening your craft to become a more well-rounded creative and artist. And even if your intention is to further your business skills or grow your business as a freelancer and artist, it's a wonderful place to learn those skills. If you click on the link below in the description, the first 500 people will get access to a 1-month free trial to just try out the platform and see if you like it. And again, a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you've made it this far, maybe this video does not resonate with where you're at with how much you use the internet, which is totally fine. But for maybe some of you, as you watch this video, you can empathize for really the place I find myself in life right now and just wanting to detach a little bit from the internet. And if that's the case, I hope this was helpful. Again, for me at least, writing has been such a wonderful tool to prevent myself from, again, accessing those devices to then hop onto the internet and just get lost in it. And yeah, if this skill is beneficial to you, possibly, I would highly encourage giving it a try. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one.